lesson 7b. You can find that grammar on page 145 in your students' books. So let's review the basics. This is something that you should know by now. This is something that you studied in second year English and in third year English. So by now you should have a good command of this. So we're going to use the infinitive with to when we have an adjective. So it's very difficult if after difficult we have a verb. That verb is going to go with to plus infinitive. It's very difficult to read his writing, okay? Or when we say the purpose of something, when we say why we do something, the purpose means el propósito. So I went to the cinema to see a film. It's wrong to say for see a film. That's really wrong. It's wrong, absolutely wrong to say for to see a film. And it's not wrong, but it means something different if we say for seeing a film. So I went to the cinema to see a film. That's purpose, propósito. I went to the cinema for seeing a film. For seeing is not purpose, is function. And it doesn't really make sense in this type of sentence. Okay, we're going to see that for plus ing later. But remember, purpose, infinitive, so we use the infinitive with to. When we say why we do something or the purpose of something, we don't say for plus infinitive, or we don't say for plus ing. That's wrong. And after certain verbs. Now, to know which verbs take to plus infinitive, please go to page 164 in your students' books. One example can be need, I need to go, or I don't know, agree, or want. All of them need a verb with to plus infinitive. Then we have some verbs which take infinitive but without to. That infinitive without to is what we call bare infinitive. Bare means desnudo. Okay, so you're going to use the bare infinitive, that means the infinitive without to, after modal verbs, okay? And there is an exception, which is ought to. That's why we learn ought to. We don't learn ought. We learn ought to because of that same reason. So they can play the guitar, they must go to the bathroom, they should be more patient. So all of them are modal verbs, and after them we never use to. And after make and let. Make means obligation and let means permission. So you don't need to here. My parents made me be home early. Mis padres me obligaban a llegar a casa temprano. Made me be, not made me to be. That's wrong, okay? She didn't let me go. No me dejó ir. Okay? She didn't let me go. It's wrong to say she didn't let me to go. That's wrong. Okay, so right one, my parents made me be home early, made plus bare infinitive, let plus bare infinitive. Then we move on to the gerund. We're going to use the gerund. Gerund is the verb plus ing. When the verb is the subject or part of the subject and usually goes before the verb, and also when it's the object. So when a verb is the object or part of the object in a sentence, it's the pattern we're going to use is ing, gerund. For example, watching TV series helps me to relax. We don't say to watch TV series, okay? We say watching. So watching TV series is the subject of help in this case. Also, we're going to use ing after a preposition. We have an example here. I'm very good at. At is the preposition. At playing football. Not at to play or at play. At playing football. Also, after phrasal verbs, this is something we have just studied. So when we have a phrasal verb and there is a verb after that, the verb goes with ing. She's given up working on Saturdays. And then after certain verbs. Again, in order to check what verbs, I mean, this is not like a comprehensive, a complete list of verbs which have that pattern, but it's a useful one and one that we can use And actually it's not a long list of verbs, so I think you should learn that list by heart, memorize the list. So certain verbs, for example, all those verbs that take, that mean likes and dislikes, like love, hate, don't mind, prefer, enjoy, etc. All of them are going to use ing. Okay. When we negate, when we want to say no before one of those verb patterns, either infinitive or ing, we obviously are not going to use an auxiliary verb. What we're going to use is not. And we put not before the verb in infinitive or before the verb in gerund. So be careful with putting, with using not between to and the infinitive. Be careful not to stay is correct. Be careful to not stay is wrong. And again, the same with the gerund. I hate not seeing. Obviously, I hate don't sing is wrong, because don't is an auxiliary which is not needed here. When we have a verb plus an object plus an infinitive, and that object is actually the subject of the infinitive or the subject of the gerund, then we need to use an object pronoun, not a subject pronoun. So the first sentence, they want that we go with them, that sentence is L1. This is a translation from L1, from Spanish. That sentence is Spanish grammar. Quieren que nosotros vayamos con ellos. So that's a direct translation from Spanish. This is wrong. So what we do, the verb want needs, as we know, is one of those verbs that needs a to plus infinitive. So what we do is change we into the object pronoun us, and then we use the verb in the infinitive with to. They want us to go with them. So this is really difficult to see as a Spanish structure, but this is the translation for this one would be ellos quieren que nosotros vayamos con ellos. So don't use that plus a conjugated verb in this kind of structure. Always use the object pronoun plus infinitive. Me pidió que la ayudara. Español. Me pidió que la ayudara. I translate, she asked me that I helped her. This is Spanish. She asked me, I becomes the subject now, and we have to use the object form of the pronoun. She asked me to help her. Okay? And that's all.